What can you tell me about Randy Bowman?
One of the most unique individuals I've ever known in my life. I only knew him from age 0 to, really knew him probably till I was probably about 16. And then he kind of, retired, and he drove a bus every once in a while, and then he passed away. But I grew up around him, loved him, and was a common sense, no nonsense, do things the right way, but could do it in a way where it wasn't hateful or mean. It was just, he would, there's always stories of him like grabbing dudes and like putting them up against the wall, and you're gonna do that again? No, okay. So he was very much a seeker of justice, that justice was always served if something did not go the way it was supposed to be done. But in the end, he was a big, lovable character that held kids accountable. Held kids accountable in ways that you can't hold kids accountable nowadays. He took kids that maybe in today's school system might not make it through the school system. He took those kids and said, you're going to do it this way. And they, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. And he made sure that those kids got through school, and those kids graduated, and those kids had a good experience in the wrestling program.
Is this Iron Titans? What is this?
Yes, no, this is our home battle.
Oh, okay.
So hey, listen. Our biggest issue today,
Wait, do we need to erase?
is Oakwood. What lives in trees? That's right. Who said that? Outstanding. What are we? We're Panthers, are we not?
We are.
Something else. What do we get?
Chainsaws.
My calculation for this, the gondola ratio.
Don't worry about it.
In order
I think
to...
we'd have Ian. Ian needs to solve the equations. Smart.
Okay, which team is the squirrel?
Ian.
Who's the squirrel?
Go, let's see if we can...
He's
Okay.
like the professor. What's your pronoun?
Guys, who knows what?
Adam did bring up a good point. Oppenheimer.
Give Bischoff the marker.
Hold on, I'm getting somewhere.
Yeah, what does the squirrel equal?
Wait, if we include
Potential energy.
gondola with the carbs in the gondola squared, it gives us our energy that we need to create the palabra. That will catch the squirrel.
Why do we need the squirrel?
Why do we need the squirrel? And kill it. So
They're not
will
the
fall.
squirrel. They're the trees.
Thank you for your time.
I thought they were the tree, bro. Why did the panther not get planted on we burned the tree?
Yeah, they are the tree, but what lives in trees?
But why did they do the squirrel? The squirrel's
The Oakwood squirrel tree.
I want to stay involved. Like come back like Sexton does, or like Grant.
Still in college?
Yeah, he goes to ISU. Cause like that whole freshman class when we were sophomore. Were you here sophomore year, or was it junior year?
What?
Were you here sophomore year or junior year?
Wrestling?
Yeah.
Junior.
Well, like that whole freshman class came in. There were a bunch of freshman football players, and Roberts brought them in. And now they're like the backbone of our freaking wrestling program, and they're all studs. And I don't want to like, because I came here the same time they did, because I moved, So it's like we've been here the same time, and they're really, it feels like I'm leaving them early.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was because of COVID, and I had to pick between wrestling and baseball. And at the time, I was wasn't a fan of wrestling. Or I liked wrestling, but I just didn't like waking up early and having to go to like wear those little leotards all the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really likes wrestling. It's just like if you look at wrestlers, it's just like a certain kind of person who's like in the sport. It's not like I love wrestling. It's more of a, you know, I need to do it. What's up, Sexton? Little Waylon. We should sprint quick, dude. Like, we really should. Just for like 3 sprints, just because there's guys like, I don't want to be sloppy when I go out, you know. Do down this hallway just to burn a little bit. I'm gonna do 3. Down black is like 1. What's your like thing? Do you have any superstitions before you go and wrestle?
I always do this stretch. I just get the
Yeah. I used to have a lot, but then I stopped them because they make me nervous. More nervous. Superstition's the worst thing to do in wrestling. Alright, I'm gonna do one. We can do it at the same time, or you can just do it when I go down and then back and then you go. Let's just do that. Like, I go down back, then you go down back, then I go down back. So we're not like running into each other. Yeah, bro. It's a 6-minute wrestling match. We're only doing 3, 1 per period. We have a bye, bro. Where's Mouse? He should be doing this too. No, he has a 6-man bracket. He doesn't need to be doing this.
Yeah, he has to buy to the semis.
I know. So,
What made you try out for wrestling?
my dad wrestled in the D2s. He was a stud. He loved it. Didn't bring it up, or never like referenced it for me. What it was for me that made me get into wrestling was WWE. My granddad loved it. And I'd sit and I'd watch it for hours. And I figured out, I was like kindergarten, I was like, I can do this in a sport? Heck yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear these jeans, I'm gonna go shirtless, WWE style. And he was like, no, you gotta wear this thing. And he holds it up. I'm like, are you kidding me? And he pretty much showed me, you know, how to do it, and I freaking hated it, man. It was horrible. First time I go out, I got like 3rd at some little youth club wrestling tournament, and I hated it. I cried the whole time. And that's the same story for like 3 or 4 years, but I just stayed with it. I don't know why I stayed with it, but I did, and it took me a lot of time to. I think it was an addiction, actually. That's what I think about now. I started as a kid, I hated it. It sucked, but I couldn't stop doing it. And then when I got to like my middle school, I started winning and killing kids. I was like, oh, I really can't stop doing this. I need to keep going. And, you know, I still get nervous like I do when I was a little kid, but I couldn't imagine doing anything else. This sport is just, nothing else makes you feel the way you feel before you go out to wrestle. Nothing else makes you wrestle. Devin, how'd you do? How'd it go though?
It was like 13-4.
All right, go calm down. We'll talk about it.
It was 12-4. Just feels like everything right.
It's a good feeling, isn't it? Devin.
All the times I went and got go behind, you were taking long shots. And it would be a lot easier if you got close like you were going to throw, but instead just drop down to a single.
Devin, I think you feel like you're not doing anything right?
Yeah, I'm just, I don't know, I work as hard as I can. And then I try to show off what I got.
Yeah, you're working great, man.
Hold on, Ian.
Suggestions I told you to not like post immediately to go to your sit.
Ian.
Instead, just block off the whistle.
Ian.
I don't know, I just feel like I'm not, I always try my hardest in the wrestling room, and then I try to do some stuff and on the match, and I feel like I'm not good enough at all. This is only my 2nd year doing it, but I just feel like
I think that's a good sign. I think it shows that you know what's required of you. You understand the task at hand. And when you don't meet that standard, it pisses you off, right?
it does.
That shows growing development, all right? That's going to show you pursuing that level to meet that standard, then that standard is going to change. You're going to attack and pursue that standard. then it's going to change again. All right, you're in the process of building up. That's all it is. All right, I got freaking spladed last night, 2 nights ago, whatever it was. Right. This is I've wrestled my whole life. Right. I train freestyle Greco. I'm a captain. Right, and I go and get pinned in one of the most important duels on senior night. Right. There was a standard that was set to meet, and I thought I was here, and I fell short of that standard. And now I'm pursuing to meet that standard again, and I'm gonna keep building back up. Every level this happens, man. But you identifying that standard and that you're falling short of it is a good thing. All right. Let it piss you off, but you know, it's not the end of the season yet. You could wrestle Ian again for 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That happens because it's going to be a different match by then.
Gotta. Still teammates, guys.
Yeah. You did great.
Hey, it's good competition though.
I get a ring draw, I get that kid over there with the white sweatshirt.
I don't see a kid with a white sweatshirt.
I get that kid. Well, he's got a red warm-up on, but he's wearing a white sweatshirt.
Point at him for like a little bit longer.
He's right across from us.
Point at him and look at him for a little bit longer. I just want to see who exactly you're talking about. Let's go, EJ. Let's go watch EJ. Come on, guys.
Freshman.
How many guys are in your bracket?
Or 2 and
Can you
9.
pull mine about? My phone's like not loading.
If Ash wins his first round, I wrestle Ash in my second round.
What about Big Nate?
Big Nate's on the outside of the bracket.
So am I in the quarters? Who's this Palmer kid? I have no idea who that is. I don't. Not even gonna click on him. It's gonna be a good day.
Yep.
Nerves and mindset is something that's huge with wrestling. It's never gonna go away. You know, I wouldn't say I overcome nerves. You know, before every match, whether it's the first match of the day or the finals match, you know, your nerves and adrenaline through the roof. You get those butterflies so you can throw up. Ask any wrestler, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. That's something that I had to learn to use for the good and not let it control me. Because I mean, you look at some guys, you look at state champs, you know, you look at like guys who are qualifying for huge stuff, and you look at JV guys, they all feel the same thing. They all feel the same nervousness. It's just how they control it is different. Their mannerisms are different because they're using that energy. Like someone who's about to go out and kill someone, you see him over there pulling on the straps, they're ready to go, you know, and you see a guy who feels the exact same way, but he's over there standing in the corner, stiff as a rock, you know, and he's like, it's just how you use that nervousness and those butterflies to contribute to win. That's the biggest thing that I had to learn to come to get over, and I say Roberts has a big role in helping me see that and then move over to use those nerves as a good thing. Last match that I wrestled, I got the fall, and that was my last one. What do I take away? Ooh. Man, I need to sit and linger on this a little bit. I mean, what I take away? It's hard to put into words. It's just kind of overwhelming levels of maturity throughout these last years, you know, being part of this program. Identifying myself and self-awareness, right? Pursuing stuff that I'm passionate about. All of those genres are things that I will take with me for the rest of my life.
match, man. Way to battle. Look good. Hey, get ready to go again. Get ready to go. We need you to get third. Okay, come back, get third.
Password? Does it rhyme with password? Is it password? Are you sure? That's too long of a password. No one's ever gonna get that.
He's like, no, I can't do that. Because we're on school grounds. And I'm like, it's not school sanctioned day.
This is a good match.
You gonna have to wrestle one of them?
No. Well, these guys are 38. But that line I kid is thick. Yeah. He's got muscular.
Who's our one? Do we have one?
For us.
From the outside looking in,
Okay.
come across as like a very nice and like kind of sincere and genuine person.
Okay.
So, with wrestling being like the total opposite,
Yes.
how do you kind of like flip the switch and go out there and wrestle?
Well, I think sometimes I do have trouble doing it with wrestling. I'm not really sure why. Football, I don't struggle with it at all. I am a very mean and nasty, terrible person in between snaps when I play football. Wrestling, it's a little different. I feel like if I really, if I can get myself going and get focused, then I can flip the switch and get in the zone. But it's hard to get up and do it for every match, which is why it makes wrestling so tough. I'm tempted to, just to see how much easier it is, if it is easier to breathe.
I bet it's easier to breathe, but then it's not going to be good for, your ribs.
The whole ribs thing.
The one time you don't wear it, the kid's going to tight waist you.
That's true.
Every time.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Mr. Melton, nice shirt. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. I've been taking medicine every night.
Hasn't been 6 weeks yet, though, has it?
6 weeks?
It takes about 6 weeks for those coughs to go away.
Wow.
Sometimes.
It's a significant amount of time. It's got much less violent, but I think I gave it to Brock, because Brock has been hacking up a storm now. So,
Oh, no.
yeah. Because I got it from Prosser.
You got it from Prosser, okay. The camp this summer, you guys going back to Wisconsin?
Yeah, back to the Dells. So that should be fun.
They're leading in points,
Yes.
hopefully, by a lot.
Yeah. Got a solid team this year.
Wasn't it a kid from Salt Fork that was your nemesis in junior high? Is he from Salt Fork?
I don't remember. Are you talking about that curly-headed kid?
Yeah.
That was freshman and sophomore year.
Oh, was your freshman and sophomore year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe just freshman year, because it's been a long time since I've wrestled him. He beat Brock at Abe's Rumble when we dueled them.
Oh, he did this year? Oh, wow.
He's a really big 150, and Brock was a 144, so he had a little bit of a size advantage on him.
Yeah, he was a good wrestler.
He is, yeah.
It was freshman year. I'm thinking of when he was wrestling over at Eureka.
Yeah, it was freshman year. Second? Yeah, about like 40. Yeah, it does. It kind of looks like that one now.
Well, we always look at that one.
Holy cow. Why are your fingers so fat on this? Oh, you just have big fingers.
What are some of the challenges that you face when wrestling up a weight?
Ooh. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't go out there scared that you're wrestling up a weight, because it is what it is. Nothing's going to change that. Obviously, I weighed in at, I think, 55 or 56 this morning, and I'm wrestling dudes that can weigh 69. So obviously, I'm giving up a little bit, but you got to stay quick on your feet. You can't get into positions that you don't want to be in and that you don't feel comfortable in, because most likely they're going to win those positions because they have the size and strength advantage. And you just can't let that be a mental block that I'm wrestling up. And I can't do it because of that. You just got to suck it up and deal with it. How'd it go? Hey, you won 1 here as a freshman. You won 2 here as a freshman. I don't even remember how many I won here as a freshman. Yeah, like that's not bad at all. For not having wrestled varsity, all oh geez, who is that? I've got to move fast because I'm giving up 14 pounds. I just can't let him sit on me. Team-wise, I mean, obviously never want to let the dudes down because, I mean, you train with them every day and you have a special bond with them that you don't want to, you know, go and prosecute. You don't want to let him down if he's going to go out there and do his job. See how it goes? You got to do your job. So, for myself, I mean, you hate to lose. Obviously, everyone says they hate to lose. But, I mean, you got to have a dislike for it. It's got to sit with you for a little while. And then, I mean, just proving to yourself that you're capable and you're able is a big step in finding out who you are as a person. So I think wrestling helps a lot with that in that sense.
You know, a lot of people don't know he was the MVP of the Illinois Wesleyan football team his senior year as a nose tackle. You know, I mean, think about that. You know, what kind of a man was he? He was a captain. You know, so here's a college football player. He's a captain. He's team MVP. So that tells you the character. That tells you the leadership ability of the man. Comes here, starts a brand new program of which he admittedly knew nothing about. He studied it, taught himself, self-taught wrestler, right? And then built this giant of a program that at the time in a 2-class system had to wrestle Muhammad every year to get out of regional, right? And so everybody's like, well, he didn't win this or he didn't win that. And it was like he was going 25-1 every year in a 2-class system and was getting beat by a school 5 times bigger than us. So that was winning state titles, that school. You know, so it wasn't like, you know, it was some chump that was beating him. So you put him in modern day 3-class 1A wrestling, and we've probably got 2 or 3 more trophies with those teams that he had. I mean, they were great. I got to work with him. You know, I wrestled in junior high. He coached us. I qualified for state. That week of that practice, he came in and coached me one-on-one that week and showed me some different moves. You know, that was cool just to have that experience. But, yeah, he's one of the pillars. You know, when you think about Leroy, not just Leroy schools, you know, there's teachers that are going to be on this list as well, but when you think of Leroy athletics, you know, he is one of the pillars that has made, you know, L.A. McCain, who the football field's named after, you know, he would be one. Randy Bowman would be one, because those guys put those programs on the map.
Again! Come up again!
Run it! Grab that wrist and run it.
Up, 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 up! Get it! Get it! Your offense is better than D here. Come on! Come on! Move! Move! Don't stop moving! Don't stop moving! Circle! 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 Hey! Circle! Let's go! Circle! Circle! Bend your knees! Bend your knees! Come on, G! Hey, hey, hey! Start like this. Get there. Get to the center. Stay down. Stay down. Shoot. Holy cow. Hey, not even that. You got in your low stance, he blew the whistle, and you did this. Hey. Hey, hey. You won.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I dislocated my finger in walks.
Yeah.
He was grabbing on purpose.
Well, in the heydays of wrestling too, we had
I tell you what.
a full varsity squad
Yeah.
and a full.
Yeah, back like when Rod Munster was wrestling and those guys, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You gotta compete. You gotta compete. I said some of you are wrestling here, and you're a varsity wrestler because you weigh that much, not because you're good enough. So you got work to do. You got work to do.
Because Randy had so many kids out.
Yep.
He had wrestled maybe twice a week.
Yeah, consistently for almost every duel.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting there. I think we're at 25 right now. We're holding steady at 25. Started at 28.
In today's age, you got a big squad.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
In today's age, you got a big squad.
Hey, good Paul. Hey, we gotta. Now listen, you gotta break. They're doing semis. You gotta warm up and run a little bit while they're wrestling in their consolation stuff, and then you come back and be ready to go again. All right? Make it to the final. Make the freaking final.
You know, the Randy Bowman Invitational, it's got such a history of one. It's named after the man that really created and cultivated the program, you know, throughout its beginning for many, many years. Still one of the most winningest coaches we have. You know, so it kind of started out as just, you know, back in the day, he wanted to host a tournament. It was pretty small and not a huge deal. As time went on, especially as the Doug DeWald era came in, we really wanted to build a tournament that featured, you know, teams from kind of all over the state in order to increase the competition level. So we doubled, tripled the teams to make it that. You know, I think we went from running 2 mats at one point in time when I was first here to, you know, now we're running 4 mats with 22 teams in a really tight space. So there's a lot of intensity there, and you know, and really in the last, you know, probably 10 to 12 years, it's grown into, you know, a few teams from every corner of the state that show up, and there's really rarely a weight class now where the top 3 to 4 kids, you know, they're probably at least state qualifiers, if not state placers in many years. So it's actually become a pretty competitive tournament and is a huge identity for who we are as a program. And it's also another situation where you truly see our alumni support and that community support. You know, we have people that come out and work in the concessions, work at the tables, you know, that maybe wrestled 30, 40 years ago, or their kids graduated 10, 12 years ago. It's just another example of we're able to pull that off because of that support of our community and our alumni.
Your hand was all the way out. That's counting.
I saw 1 and I saw 2.
What is that? That was left hands. Did you see that?
I think it's save reaction time now.
Yeah, no, his hands were just like fully clasped. Oh, you be quiet with that beautiful mustache. You keep that beautiful mustache quiet. It made me smile. It made me smile when Coach Z said that.
I don't mean to like say some serious things right now, but if you got a crap in the woods, how you doing it? Because you can't bend your knees. You just hope that it doesn't.
No, listen. He leans back against the tree like this. If this was the tree, he'd lean like this, and then he'd have to.
That would not work because your cheeks would get smashed.
I thought about that as I was leaning. I was like,
that would be
ooh, that would be terrible. Right down the leg into your shoe.
So this kind of touches on like what we talked about earlier. How difficult would you say wrestling is in comparison to other high school athletics?
Well, I think that to compete at the high level, any sport can really be difficult. You know, you have those people that are successful in their sport and they put in a lot of work. But with wrestling, you have that other aspect, which is dieting, controlling your weight, kind of in losing weight, and especially at that age, I think it's really difficult. It's extremely difficult to find someone that's disciplined enough to do that and put in the work that it takes to be successful. So wrestling, I'd say it's one of, or if not the most difficult sport that you can do in high school.
It's
it's much easier to be the guy going for people. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody expects anything from you. And every time you climb like that opponent you weren't supposed to beat, you get that endorphin relief. You know, it's like no other feeling. So that's what it was like when I came in. You know, I took a lot of lumps my freshman year. I think I probably had over 12 losses or something. But once I busted through and I made the state finals as a sophomore, two things happen. One, you realize like, okay, I can go. I can be the guy. You know, you walk into February and you think, why can't I be the guy that wins it? You know, so that becomes realistic. That's one thing. And then the other side, maybe you're a little bit aware. So some people will fold when they're going up against somebody that's quote unquote good. But the gamers, you know, the guys that want to be good in wrestling, they're bringing it. You're going to get somebody's best shot. So there were times where maybe a kid that I should have took it to held it to a decision, and there were times where a team would forfeit their guy against me even though they had a guy at that weight. So I would say it didn't really change much. The big thing for my vantage point is, who cares? You know, if you want to be good at wrestling, it gets to the point where you're like, I don't care who's stepping across that mat. I don't care if they're ranked number 1. I don't care if they've lost every match up to this point. I'm going to fight them tooth and nail for every point. Down 14, up 14, doesn't matter. When you start focusing on that, the rest takes care of itself.
Move his elbows. Control his elbows. Yes. Shovel it. Snap there. Yes. Bounce it. Bounce it. Post it. Post. Hey, hips out. Hips out.
Jeff Bowman he's run the tournament, him and Greg Kahn for years, and John Kennedy, if you know John, remember John, comes back and announces. It's a good tournament. It's a good end of the year tournament, you know, to get yourself ready for the postseason. You know, it's not a 2-day tournament that's going to kill you or anything. It's a good tune-up tournament, you know, for a lot of guys. Just depending on the year. Some years it could be extremely difficult, you know, depending on what teams are there and what weight class you're wrestling.
You need to keep your butt in the center, and you need to start firing off shots. Hey,
you need to be aggressive with your
you need to be aggressive. You need to pound his head. Pound that head. You hear me? Don't worry about what he's going to do to you. You get to your stuff, all right?
It's a good fundraiser for us. You know, we make a pretty good chunk of change for our program, which always goes right back into it, you know, to buy new uniforms or new mats or whatever the case may be. But that too takes a lot of people. You know, you have to ask your parents to run the tables, and you gotta ask your parents to run the concession stands and to bring stuff in and donate things. But that goes back to our community here in Leroy that's really supportive of everything. They're supportive of all sports, you know, not just wrestling, not just football, not just basketball, but I think this community takes a lot of pride in all athletics, boys and girls, which is great.
Seconds. That was physical.